And I think that can also endear you to a show, you know, if the people are nice, which obviously we really are.
And we're pretty dull. No.
And they were like trying to wrangle us all. We were like,
and Bradley's like getting into a cart in full costume covered in straw and being pulled back out for takes.
What's an average day like for you on set? I mean, like, working from day to day. I mean, is it quite a boring job, or is it something that you relish and have fun and play?
It's not boring.
Well, okay, let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's not boring because we're working with great people.
Yeah.
But the process of filming can be quite boring because sometimes you have days where you just have little tiny bits to do, and it's all shot out of sequence, and like all the scenes are shot out of sequence, and there's a lot of waiting around, which we tend to fill with in like having fun, enjoying ourselves, taking the mick out of each other, stuff like that. But it can be, you know, if you're on your own, for example, all day doing a scene all day, it can be a little bit boring.
That is.
Not gonna lie.
When you're doing filler scenes where you're like walking from one scene to another, and you do like 7 of them in a row, you're like, yeah. I don't care how I'm walking now. I'm just gonna walk.
Done 15 takes, really.
Yeah.
But then some days you have like packed days where you've got loads of scenes, you've got loads of lines to have land, and I like those days because they go really fast as well. You feel like you've kind of done something.
I do wonder when the glamour is going to start though. You know, when you're like knee deep in mud and it's raining.
It's going to be glamour.
I always thought that becoming an actress you'd get glamour. You know, there'd be hot men and.
Well, I think people might think we have hot men here.
Yeah, I forget how other people see them. I always forget that because they're just kind of like your brothers at this point. So you're like, and you forget that other people find
them
attractive.
They are gorgeous, obviously, but, you know. But they're our pals. So
yeah.
It's good. Yeah.
So has life changed for you on set now that you're queen? Are you treated more regally?
Yeah, people sprinkle rose petals wherever I walk.
It's really expensive.
They bring me water. No, nothing's changed. It's exactly the same as it was before. Maybe a little bit more fussing because of the costume, you know, kind of has to be, don't let it get creased and all that kind of stuff, whereas before I was just in sort of Hessian something or other, tabard, didn't matter if it got creased. But no, nothing's changed. I'm just the same. I'm not a method actress or anything, so I'm not like insisting people treat me differently.
I find people spit at me a lot now.
Do they?
Yeah. Throw rotten fruit in my face. Oh. You hurt Colin.
I mean, you do get a lot more. You have been getting a lot more down and dirty now that you're Morgana and you're. Not in that way. What are you saying? You get involved in magical fights with leaves.
Yeah, you're just bringing that back there now. Yeah, what's been different for me in the last sort of 2 years, filming wise and on set, is that I've been on my own much more. You know, the Angel has and Colin and Bradley, they've got all the nights and they all tend to have sort of a lot of stuff together, whereas I was sort of separate in a little hovel in the forest, so it was quite lonely. But this year, they very cleverly have sort of made it so that I'm not quite on my own. I'm not giving too much away. So I'm not as on my own this year, which I much prefer, so you get to hang out. Because I felt very isolated last year, and it was great as an actor, because, you know, you had to stand on your own 2 feet, but by the end of it I was like, I don't want to stand on my feet anymore. I want everyone back. Yeah. So it's been good this year, sort of more interaction.
Yes.
So this is a bit of a leading question, because I suspect I know the answer, but would you say that you're the geekiest person on set?
No, you haven't talked to Colin probably. There's a pair of us in it, I swear. Colin's just more closed about it, I'm just more giggly about it. I think we're all geeky about certain things. You know, it depends, you just get us on the right, you know, you talk to Bradley about football and you're gone.
Everyone has their
geeky side. And it just so happens that mine coincides quite a lot with SFX magazine and Digital Spies, so, you know, but if you talk to all of us on certain subjects, we're all a bit geeky, but, you know, you should bring Colin in. Get him on the subject of Tim Burton. Yeah. You know, everybody's got their ones. I'm just very geeky.
So, what's your biggest passion then, in terms of geek culture?
In what respect?
Films, TV, comics.
Kind of all of the above. Yeah, I'm pretty. I grew up with 2 older brothers, you know, and I'm the sort of generation, and they were of sort of Star Wars and Star Trek and comics and X-Men and all that. So I grew up with that, and we grew up in the countryside, so there wasn't a lot else for us to do except play computer games and, you know, read comic books, and so it's then transpired into me now being pretty quite pathetic. I know, but I do get overly excited at times when we see the Batmobile.
That was exciting.
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
at school, we were in the Batmobile.
And we got to turn it on.
Yeah, we got to rev the engine.
It was really bad though, because there were all these children there, and you know, there were these little kids, and like, why are they in the Batmobile?
Yeah,
We're like,
weren't
ha ha! Use us now. This is when becoming on a TV show is all worth
Yeah, exactly,
Because
yeah.
you're sitting in Christian Bale's Batmobile, you get to turn it on and rev the engine. It makes more children cry and jealous.